I've somehow filmed this video twice without pressing record. Definitely recording this time though. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm Shah and this is Thoroughly Enjoyed Books. Today I am bringing you my Checked Back In Volume 5. This is the video where I show you all the books that I recently had out of the library and what I thought of them. I've had to return all of the books that I had out in my Check You Out video, which I'll leave a link to up here and down below. Go and check that out. I had 4 books out of the library and I only managed to read 2 of them, unfortunately. However, there are quite good reasons why I didn't read the other 2. I'm going to start off with the 2 that I didn't read. The first of those is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is a really difficult book about a young girl who was groomed by her school teacher. She didn't think she was groomed at the time. She thought she was in love with this teacher and that he was in love with her. However, people are starting to come forward to say that she wasn't the only one who had this relationship, and she's starting to come to terms with the fact that this wasn't normal. This is quite a hefty book and the subject matter is quite dark, and I didn't get around to reading it because I just couldn't find the right time. There was never a time where I wanted to sit down and read something so heavy, so I just didn't get around to it. I have re-requested this book from the library because I am still really interested in it, but I'm now the 4th in the queue, so there might be a little bit of a wait for this one. And the second book I returned was Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. So the reason I've returned this one is actually because the edition I downloaded was in Spanish. I can't read Spanish. I requested this book from my library and they purchased it for me, but I don't know how. I must have requested the Spanish version or they've accidentally downloaded the Spanish version. Either way, I just can't read it, so I've had to return that one. I feel like the universe is just telling me not to read this book because a friend sent me this for my birthday and it never got here, and now I've had it in Spanish. I know it's available online, however, I just feel odd reading that and then counting it towards my Goodreads goal. I know it's completely arbitrary and I know that I'm completely overreacting and making the whole drama up here. That's how I feel about it. I just feel weird. So obviously had to return this one and haven't read it, but I still hope to one day. Then I did read the other 2 books. The first of these is Knife Edge by Mallory Blackman. This is the second book in the Noughts and Crosses series. I read the first 2 books last month and really enjoyed both of them. I can't talk about this one too much without spoiling the first, but this basically follows our main character Sephi from the first book and the elder brother of our other main character in the first book, Callum, who's called Jude. I've talked about this in my wrap-up about how I wasn't 100% certain on it. I didn't understand some of the motivations, but I did think there were some really well done things in this book. So the depiction of mental health, including post-traumatic stress disorder and postnatal depression, were both phenomenal. I really enjoyed reading about them, and for them to be involved in like a kids teens series, I think was really interesting and really unexpected. Obviously I can't talk to the representation of the postnatal depression. However, from what I know of it, it seemed to be quite well done. And we got different perspectives rather than just the one narrative, which I thought was interesting to see how different people perceived it as well. So I did enjoy this book. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, but I will be continuing with the series. I have requested the 3rd book from my library, but there was about an 8-week waiting list on that one, so it hasn't quite come in yet. I did also find the entire series for £8 on the works, and I'm contemplating whether or not to get it. Definitely a series I highly recommend. And then the last book that I read was Blue is the Warmest Colour by Julie Moreau. This is a graphic novel. It's a queer graphic novel, and I enjoyed it, but it's quite difficult. There's a lot of trigger warnings for this book, including homophobia, death and illness, and unsupportive parents. So it was quite a difficult read, but also one that I really enjoyed reading. It was very poignant. It felt very real and very difficult. I don't know if enjoyed is necessarily the right word, but it is a good graphic novel. However, my experience reading it was actually quite hindered. So this is translated, and obviously I downloaded it in English. Somehow, both of these graphic novels I had this time were translations. But the way that this is done was the speech bubbles that were there by the artist were kind of blocked out, and then the text in English was typed over the top, but it didn't always fit inside the boxes, so sometimes it would go over the artwork and be quite difficult to read if it was on a darker background. So that did hinder the reading experience for me. But I do want to rewatch the film of this at some point because I watched it a long time ago and want to see if it lives up to it. Those are all the books that I read from the library recently. I have been downloading the odd book here and there from the library as well, so I have more than this to talk about, but I'm gonna figure out the best way to do these videos, because obviously the way they're working at the minute is I'm not getting the library books in one go like I would if I was physically going to the library. But I do want to keep doing this series. I love filming this and I think it's so important to support your libraries. Hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, I'll leave all my links in the description box down below. Go and follow me on Twitter and Goodreads and all that good stuff, and I can't wait to see you in another video very, very soon. Take care. Bye.